Joining me next is Matt Morgan, Michigan's 1st District. Matt, welcome back to the Rebel headquarters.
Hey, Cenk, thanks for having me.
All right, good to see you, brother. All right, so let's remind people, in your particular race, there's something specific that they have to do. You're in a very unique situation. They've got to write you in. So tell us what that means and how to execute that.
It's pretty straightforward. Michigan has an open primary system, so when you come out to vote Democrat, you vote Democrat in the column, and as you move down the ticket beneath the gubernatorial primary candidates and our Senate candidates, there's a line under U.S. House of Representatives that's a blank box because there is no Democratic candidate on the ballot, so I need people to write in Matt Morgan and fill in the bubble. And I'll tell you, we've been doing a really strong get out the vote effort in these 32 counties of the district over the last couple days, and we feel really good about where we're at.
So understand, Matt is running unopposed, but you have to write him in because he has to get a certain percentage of the write-in votes in order to be able to win. So it's very important. And in fact, of all the different candidates, it's easiest to make a difference for Matt because donations are great and volunteers are great and they're very important, especially when Matt hopefully advances the general election. But you must go out there and write in Matt Morgan if you want Matt to win tomorrow, and that could make the biggest difference.
That's right. And this has actually been, we've tried to approach this as an opportunity because I've been able to connect with and introduce myself to a whole sect of voters that wouldn't have otherwise been paying attention. They wouldn't have necessarily been primary voters. And since I was running unopposed, building that name recognition would have been a little more challenging. So we use this as an opportunity to get out to those voters and build that name recognition that we're going to need to win in November.
Talk to me about what you're doing on the last day to get ready for the election tomorrow.
Well, I started today knocking doors. I think it's very important that we get on those doors and we make sure we know that people are getting out to vote. I've got a whole group of folks out canvassing today in several of the counties in the district, and a lot of individuals making phone calls, phone banking from home and here in the campaign office, talking to those voters that we've talked to over the last few weeks that we've gotten commitments from to making sure they have a plan to get to the polls tomorrow.
And Matt, a final question for you. When you do move on to the general election, which of course is likely as long as people go out there and write it in, what's your battle plan for taking on Jack Bergman, the Republican incumbent?
Well, Jack Bergman, he's a freshman Republican incumbent who's been in office for about 19 months now, but he acts like he's been in office for 19 years. He doesn't show up, he doesn't talk to voters, and he takes their support for granted. And we're going to show people what a real congressman looks like by getting out in the field and meeting those voters and listening to understand what's really important to them.
And what policy priorities are you going to push?
Healthcare, infrastructure, and education are the principal ones because those are the things that I hear about from all kinds of voters. Whether or not you're on Medicaid expansion under Obamacare or you're paying higher and higher premiums under your employer program, people want it fixed. And I know you just talked to Rob Davidson, my friend there to the south. Rob's district is just to the south of us there, and that's one of his focus priorities. And we're doing pretty much the same thing up here and focusing on Medicare expansion, being able to get people to see a doctor when their kid's sick.
Yeah, and Matt, of course, is just Democrat as well, as are all the people that we were talking to the day before the election. MattMorganForMichigan.com, that's the website, and obviously you can volunteer and donate there as well. MattMorganForMichigan.com. Matt, thank you again for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Cenk. I appreciate you having us.